There have been many enjoyable games this year. 2025 brought some really anticipated games and also brought us games that came out of nowhere. But today I'm going to speak about my 5 favorite games of the year. Let's begin with some honorable mentions. They are Skin Freak, Silent Hill F, Mario Kart World, Repo, and Peak. All really good games in their own way, but don't beat out the top 5 in my opinion. I wish I could talk about them more, but I actually don't want to. Number 5 goes to Legend ZA. No, I'm joking, that game was trash. Anyways, number 5 is actually Doomthedarkages. First of all, it's a game where you shoot aliens, that's pretty sick, right? And instead of just, your typical run and gun, you can also parry, melee, and use bombs. You obviously play as a Doomslayer, but the story takes place in a grim medieval fantasy world, as the kingdom of the Free Throne, a place constantly under siege by demonic forces. The price is a little bit steep for $90 Canadian, but it is a AAA game. However, all 4 entries above Doom are indie games, which is kind of crazy. Number 4 goes to Expedition 33, which is, Game of the Year. But before you click off this video, I can explain myself. The reason it's number 4 is that 1, I haven't played it, and 2nd, I also want to say it's tied with the next entry. So for someone who hasn't played it, I really do appreciate it. The soundtrack is top class, as well are the graphics. And what's even more mind-blowing is that it was made by a studio with about 30 people. And it's their debut game. In addition, it's about $50 cheaper than Doom Dark Ages, and Expedition 33 follows a doomed world where a mystical entity called the Paintress paints a number each year, and everyone that age or older instantly disappears. So a final group of survivors sets out across the continent to kill her before the number reaches 0. You play as a few key characters, including Gustav and Mael. Combat blends, turn-based strategy with real-time dodging, parrying, time challenges, and free aim attacks. Mainly, the game is praised for its story, which is claimed as one of the best stories in gaming history. Third on the list is Silksong, and now you're probably wondering what on earth could be the top 2 places. I think everyone knows Silksong. Other than GTA 6, it might have been the most anticipated game of this year. The game follows Hornet, who is kidnapped and taken to the mysterious kingdom of Farloom, where she must climb from its deepest caverns to a shining citadel while unraveling the source of a growing haunting. The game features fast, acrobatic combat using Hornet's needle and thread, plus a new tool, the Crest, that lets you customize abilities, combat style, and exploration options. Movement is quicker and more vertical than in Hollow Knight, with grapple-like silk abilities, agile dashes, and fluid traversal through a massive interconnected world. Its most notable thing is its hand-drawn art, which was nominated for Best Art Direction as well. Number 2 is No I'm Not a Human, a game that I thought was going to be my number 1 game from the moment I finished it. The amount of thought put into this game is so unreal. There are several tiny details, endings, consequences, all based on your choices, and this game didn't even get nominated for a single thing at the Game Awards, despite having one of the most intricate stories I've seen in a long time. The game puts you in the shoes of an unnamed homeowner during a deadly solar heating crisis, and your nightly task is to decide whether each visitor at your door is human or a lethal visitor, choosing who to let in or even kill in your own house. The interaction seems very well written, and the stakes are clearly there. I highly recommend this game. And a number 1 spot goes to Dispatch. If you know me, it quickly became one of my favorite games ever. The game is simply incredible. The cast is well-rounded, the animation looks AAA, and the story is top-notch. Dispatch is a decision-based game where players are presented with difficult choices that influence your story. The game follows Robert, a fallen superhero known as Mecha Man. A hero known as Blonde Blazer recruits him to dispatch the Z-Team, a bunch of ex-villains looking to turn their life around at SDN. At SDN, Robert faces hardships, including trying to rebuild his suit, pursuing romance, and tracking down his father's killer known as Shroud. Upon first glance, the game looks much more like a show, so props to the team at Ad Hoc for making such an unforgettable experience. And that's my list for the best games of 2025. If you have any different opinions, make sure to share them in the comments. I know I couldn't touch on every game that released this year, but yeah, thanks for watching and subscribe and all that.